All right, Guava Jelly Gang. Yeah, that's right. We haven't recalled our roots as the Guava Jelly Gang in quite a while, but welcome back, members and applicants and visitors alike. We're a big, expansive, and generally friendly gang of um, well, I don't know, purveyors of the guava and the jelly made from said guavas. So welcome. We have a parrot that reinforced that for us, and he's our mascot. So, glad to have you along for the ride. I hope you're doing well. Welcome. If this is your first visit, we sure are glad to have you here, and I hope you kick back, get comfortable, and enjoy some of this content. We'll do our very best to make it entertaining. So what do we have on tap for today? Well, excitingly, we are going to be using the proceeds of our two wither fights, these nether stars, to create a couple of beacons. We've spent much of the last episode sorting a bunch of inventory junk, just keeping on top of that a little bit. Right now we're cooking some gold, iron, and copper that we brought back with us, and are now going to do just a bit of processing here to repair tools and make sure we're in good shape for the next adventure. So let's get started here. It's a bit of a shame we can't use lapis to power up beacon, although we are in good shape to build up a couple of our beacons. We'll see how blingy we can get. I don't think we quite have a diamond beacon yet, but I am pretty confident that emeralds and gold we can manage, I think. We'll find out here. And we're also going to have to practice. I did not, in my break, I did not cheat and peek, although it's not really cheating. Don't worry if you're getting set up, wow, that is a lot of lapis. If you're figuring out hardcore and you are to the good point of making a beacon or anything, don't worry about going to the wiki and looking stuff up. I for years. And Minecraft is it's not uniquely, but it's very well done in terms of having a wiki that's accessible for people. And, way back there, that didn't really come out for people. And that's where some of the early on content came from in terms of video game streaming and all that. Minecraft just fit perfectly with the advent of that platform to say, hey, this is a game where you can do a whole bunch of stuff, but there's nothing out there to tell you. It's not like an RPG where your quests and things lead you. Yeah, they have advancements and things, but early on that wasn't even a deal. So you didn't have even a little bit of an indication that, hey, this may be out there, or I don't know why I was trying to put the Z in the lapis instead of the lapis. I always, when I see the lapis lazuli, I think in the western U.S. at least, I don't know what its range is exactly. There's a lazuli bunting, which is a very beautiful bright blue bird. Now, I grew up in the Midwest, and there we have eastern bluebirds, which are almost like a European robin, for those of you guys that may not be in North America. It's kind of comes as a shock to a lot of people, but the term robin redbreast refers to a bird in the UK that's called a robin, shockingly. Here in the United States, the American robin, which has an orangish red breast that's much larger, is actually a member of the thrush family. But I think because the robin is so kind of culturally accepted as kind of a friendly, cheerful bird and all that good stuff, in what had been the old world, the place where a lot of families and early settlers had come from, and where the American colonies had their national roots. When folks relocated to North America, they kind of saw the thrush, the American robin, as, hey, that bird has a red breast too. That'll be our robin. And so that's where the naming. But they're very dissimilar birds. It's kind of funny to see them, but they, of course, both fit that niche of a red-breasted bird. So the old rhymes and things could still be applied, and that was probably comforting for a lot of parents particularly, bringing families to an unseen and unknown world of opportunity, granted, but also a lot of deprivation of things that you had grown familiar with. Even if you lived in relative poverty in the cities, or in a changing countryside where there weren't as many opportunities, you were still giving up a lot of security and comforts to then venture into a largely untamed wild. So being able to teach your children in a context, the old nursery rhymes and childhood little, poems and things that you had known, I'm sure it was quite a comfort. So anyway, let's block up this coal. Let's block up what redstone we have. All right. How did we do on our repairing? Not quite done yet. We'll take 2, but let's just kind of go stack at a time. See how far we have to go to get this knocked out. As far as I know, Nether Quartz XP hasn't been changed at all, so it should still be the winning ticket when it comes to repairs and managing your equipment. I think 2 is probably going to be about the ticket. So we'll just switch that out. I bet that's the mystery solved. I keep seeing the little pieces of coal or what have you jump through the portal, and I think one time we'd gotten over to the 17 chunks, and I'd wondered, I was like, why do I have 2 pieces of coal in my inventory? Where'd that come from? I bet that's it. I bet they're shooting through the portal and just gathering up on the nether side in our kind of transit hub, and without any loading, they're not despawning. So, okay. You can go away. You can go. That's our coal. Don't think we even needed that. Alright, we'll just go drop these away. We are now well set. Always eerie when it's like a perfectly filled stack. Okay. I don't think I set any of these yet, but lapis is going to kind of build pretty quick. Redstone will build pretty quick. The others I think we can manage pretty well. Tools are set. Up we go. I think our last remaining unfilled, or untopped off coal blocks were up here. If I managed that right. I guess we still have a piece here and a piece there, but I want to get... Maybe this is a goof. No. Okay, you go there. You get cooked. Okay. That's not the chest I was looking for. So, we easily have a gold beacon. Oh, and we need the, is it obsidian glass? I don't know that we have quite enough here. We'll have to see how many we use. What did we need for our beacons? Glass and obsidian? Yes. We should have both of those. A good supply. Hey, doggies. And I think if we don't have enough emeralds, we're so close. I think I'm going to go get them. We could do iron. That'll be our next one, I think. Instead of... we're not building anything. Just making a couple beacons here. Let's not go crazy. Okay. Beacons. Boom. Glass. At some point we may do stained glass just to show off the coloring, but we're not there yet. Alright, let's run up. Hopefully we can still sleep. I'd like to get a full day. Nope. No sleep for us. Restock those diamonds again. We made some display diamond armor for our upstairs, which was nice. I think we're still waiting on our chainmail to be completely finished. So, I think we should be able to fit right here. Let's start with... Kind of think it's 9. we can always expand, right? No, does that seem big enough? Guess we'll find out. So we got bring home the beacon. Which is just a beacon. Not full power, but I don't know if that is subject to... Oh, we do not have it. Okay, so we need one more. That's fair enough. I wasn't sure. That's okay. What that does mean, though, is that we're going to need... a bunch more emeralds, I have a feeling. Wow, that got expensive. So, as a time saver, always remember to start your beacon 9x9. Fill in from there. Ooh. And don't miss the corner. There we go. Goal reached. Is that what it always said? Or did it used to say advancement achieved or something? So there we go. We've got our beacon all the way juiced up. And what did we say? So 81, 9 times 9, 49, 7 times 7. That is 130, 155, and 164. It's a nice 164. Fits in very well. So 164 is our total. We are nowhere close yet on emeralds. Are we on iron? Gold supply took a beating. Now we'll need another chest. Put all these away. we want to do here for multi-toned beacon? I really don't want to. Why do I have all this quartz? Oh, because I was trying to juggle my inventory here. We hadn't determined where to put that up either. I got tiers. Tiers because we were thinking about another dragon. Dragon would fit well with a return to harvest some obsidian. I don't know if I'm gonna have time for all of that in this single episode. Alright, let's sort out some of these individual bits. All downstairs. What are... And crystals need eyes. Well, that's convenient. Oh, we had eyes. Can always use the powder. Alright, let's go downstairs anyway. Got all these little lingering things to put away. And then I'm really tempted. I mean, yes, I can combine this iron and this emerald and make a perfectly serviceable beacon. But I also kind of want to just go get the pieces to get it set up. But I don't know that we can just pull block after block out of the villager traders. This goes here. More glass. 24 is enough, so we're not going to chance it. Four of those. 24 would not have been enough. Okay, those can go with us. We'll, when we go, we'll split up a... stack to, split up our trip to... So there's our beacon. Oh, we got to also fuel it. What do we use for those? Iron? Yes, you can put any of these in to power it. Again, they don't care what it's made out of when you're setting up. So iron typically becomes the fuel source there, but it doesn't have to be. You know, if you've got villager trading just cranking, you can just drop emeralds into to activate your equips. Let's do... Too many? Of course it was. It's very surprising that a block of iron breaks that easily. Oh. Wow, this is quite painful. All right. Oh, that's down to 18. Yeah. Guess we'll do a sandwich. Yeah, I guess we definitely didn't need a third wither fight. We would have been a little. I thought I was a little better off on supplies. Now we could just do the base and leave it there. I'd really hope to alternate and kind of give them a striped effect, but not bad, eh? All right. Oh, extra screenshot there. That's what we needed. Okay, now we got our beacons. They are beacony. I think I'm going to use white. I'd really like to get in the habit of using these. I've always just used the three colors, potions, fireworks, and tools. So I really haven't set a consumables yet, but that will probably mirror up to tools and just be a second yellow. I want those to be my most brightly lit so that I always, if I set those chests down, I will be as likely as possible to see them and pick them back up again. For the beacon, I'm not as concerned. So we'll just use white where white could get lost. The grays or anything would be possible as well, but grays, which gray do I put it in, that kind of stuff. So we'll just use white. That'll be our beacon supplies, and we'll carry everything together, and eventually we'll switch these out. We'll probably work to having a third beacon as well, and you can kind of stack the effects to keep everything maxed out. You can probably not around this base. They really don't fit with the style here. But maybe in another base or one that's got a different look and feel. If we were going to be doing some combat or out around, I don't even know, the Wither Skelly farm, you could set up strength, regen, all the positive attributes out of combat, and have them. Oh man, what did we say? 164 was our total. So frustrating. I should have left. It was just an easy matter of not having any of this in here. We can still put these away and these away. Then when we get done, we'll have the count on the gold. Don't you dare tell me that it is... why is that such a dark midday? swear this game rotates through weird lighting cycles. So yeah, we'll total up our iron and emeralds here, and then get the same number of stacks out of our gold. Put all those in the box, then get some individual pieces of iron and load those up as fuel. And you don't have, it's not like a brewing stand. It's not, or a furnace or anything. It's not going to be using that fuel up. Every time you set the attributes you want your beacon to give you, you have to enter a piece of fuel to set it up. Once that's done, then you can just leave it. It'll run, and you don't have to worry about it again. It'll just be doing its thing. So, which is good after the huge outlay of materials. You want to be able to just kind of leave as is. All right. Well, there's our beacons done. Okay. So we have I'd already put away the coal. I was so worried about it. Like, hey, that works out pretty well. And 2 beacons, and then we will drop in some iron as well. All right. Very good. Let's get you back in my hand. Iron. Yeah, let's take those. I don't even need to put those away because we're coming back. Last thing I now need to review is the potion chest again. Fortunately, and it was something I kind of lamented while we were there, would have been good to be set up where we could leave the splash potions here out at the Wither Arena, just so they would be ready to go. But that wasn't the case. And no big deal. However, what is a big deal so we got some more, and we do have a bunch more slow flying. I was thinking we're gonna need to make some there. Okay, we just want to have that stuff ready to go for our next dragon fight, which we will initiate with these end crystals once we've done a bunch of obsidian mining. Last thing I want to grab is 2 stacks of scaffolding, and let's go. Take a sip of coffee. It's kind of nice. The coffee's cooled off. I was going to say, no meme. There's nothing quite like hot coffee on a warm summer day. Same thing goes with a hot shower, or conversely, in the winter, a cold shower. Um, it's so counterintuitive, but it makes so much sense. And I, I think my uncle, he at least was the one that said it, that I always remember. And God rest his soul, he passed away a number of years ago now. Um, but yeah, I was, probably around my teenage years. I don't know if I was fully into high school or anything like that yet, but old enough to kind of gripe about heat and stuff like that. And that's what I was doing. I was like, oh, I gotta go take a cool shower to cool off. It's so hot out. And he just laughed. He's like, no, you don't go take a cold shower and or go take a hot shower, and then when you get out, your body will, by relativity, feel cool. You will be back to feeling good. Now, that's the one I just did. I see ya. Let's put it here. Box. Do the golds. 2, 3, 4, right? Oh. Oh, you guys have never seen any bling like this before. You just lived in this dark, boring world until I built some staircases. And yeah, sure, I slaughtered a bunch of your cousins, but they weren't the good cousins, They were the trouble kind of cousins. All right. So this should get a good range for us. I don't know that it'll get those far ones, but we're not looking to take down every stack here. Anyway, so yeah, I picked up the chest, didn't I? And we don't need both. We just need the one. There's no extra bonus for having a second, other than, having a large area. Okay, so here we go. That. So we've got haste selected. You can kind of see it with the contrast there. Haste 2. We put in our thing. That's going to power it. And then check. And now, see the little pick in the upper right-hand corner of the screen? That is haste on our mining. So that's going to speed us up as we take down these towers. And then we just do the old scaffoldy stack. Should be hopefully enough. there we go. I'll put a little torch up top just to brighten and lighten our day. And now you can see how much quicker my pick is moving there as we go. So without unfortunately just making it instant mining, it does go. And unfortunately, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but I am very confident that you can't then stack. You can't have the other beacon set up to also do haste 2, and if their coverage areas overlap, expect to get haste 4, right? That doesn't work that way, unfortunately. You can just expand the coverage area that you have haste 2. So we could put one caddy corner over at the other end of the island and get the other towers, but I don't think we're going to quite have tolerance for all that. We'll just try to pull down as much of this one as we can. If we do get full inventory or anything, we will just pop on down the scaffolding and unload into shulkers. And again, as we saw the previous time, once we've mined our fill to the extent that we can tolerate it, then we'll just regenerate the dragon. As it spawns, all of these towers will reset. So, and people talk about respawning the dragon. There's a finite number of respawns where you'll get end portal beacons, whatever these little guys are. We have a couple of them out here around the periphery, right? So each time you kill a dragon, you do those up to 20, 21, something like that, I want to say. I've never maxed those out myself, so I couldn't say with certainty, but they will continue to ring the island with portals until you've reached that max. Once you do, you've then got the ability to keep spawning dragons as long as you want to. You just won't get additional portals. So if you're really a fan of obsidian, just keep spawning towers. I know there's videos and guides and instructions and builds out there for making obsidian machines, but how much do you want to bang around on redstone? Now, if you're an AFK or something like that, or it involves duping, hey, that's something. It's not stuff I do. So playing hardcore, this is, I want to exist in the world within the game parameters, and there are certainly those that you can take it full advantage of, and this is one of them to load up on a very durable block. As you guys saw from the wither fights, our floor, it got a little beat up. The tunnel that we were in got a little beat up, but all the other blocks above that tunnel just got caved in, right? He was up on top of us in a big new cavern, and that caused a little bit of trouble. So before we do more wither fighting, we'll make sure to clean that up, get it squared away. But we really don't have the need, as you guys saw. We've got so many more resources to gather to make another beacon. We basically have to finish out both our emeralds and our iron so that we have 2 stacks plus 36 blocks of each, and then we'll be ready for another wither star that we can set up to a 3rd beacon if we want that. They're very cool, though. They for when you're setting them up, this beam of light has to have a path to the sky or the roof of the nether. You can use them in the nether, and obviously the nether has a ceiling. It isn't just open, but there they will function. If you're working in a cave or something like that, you have to clear the area above that central block all the way up to sky so that it can function. And I don't recall any of them really, the height or the radius at which they affect you. I know there is one. Like, I think, if you're doing the infamous hold the bedrock, there's a certain height you want to set them at to get maximum coverage, from where they first start impacting you or giving you their benefit from below to the point when you're too far below them to keep getting it. So, and I just don't recall. I haven't done enough massive digs or clearing type projects to have become familiar with those on a regular basis. So, as you can see, it's definitely an improvement on where we started at. Remember, on that other tower, we were leaving the outer edges, so each time there was a dozen blocks we left in place. We could go clean those up, but again, we're going to regenerate before we ever get that far at this point. So, not too worried about it. We just want to, really more than double what we had pulled, because we were so far short of what I'd expected for the wither fight. Now we could confine him down a little bit more, and maybe that's something that we will do. Maybe we'll drop that ceiling rather than lifting it up more than he did. Maybe we'll just come across so he has to work harder to try to go upward. That'll leave him more vulnerable to our bow shots until he can't fly. I just don't think there's a whole lot of need for us to trap him under the end portal. It just, to me, it doesn't seem necessary, does it? I don't know. It seems like we did all right in those fights, and with just a little bit of conscious use of the obsidian can kind of set him up the way we want him for fighting. Go from there. I also don't know something we may inadvertently for science here. Does the scaffolding prevent you from seeing the Endermen all the way through it, or will they take some aggro as they go? I don't know, but I think we may find out along the way here. Probably unfavorably, because the only really way to know is when they come after you accidentally. So I'm going to lift the mic here for a bit as we go. I'm just going to sip on some coffee. It was really more of a gulp. And after, as I shared the wake up to a calf cramp thing this morning, I was thinking, what I really should be doing is just get in the water. But don't you guys worry. I will continue to hydrate, and will intermix water regularly with the coffee here. Just wanted to make sure that caffeine got going, especially since I didn't get out for a walk today. And now that it's warm, that can make you feel kind of sluggish and lazy, and I don't want to feel that. I want to be ready to go. I got some salad makings for dinner tonight. Um, I still don't have any grilled chicken. I'm still working through the Hambbage that I made up uh, back a few days ago now. Sure glad I have that, and it's chilled now. So now I actually just will eat it kind of cold out of the fridge rather than heating it up too much. But that's pretty good too, because it, you know, carrots, onions, and cabbage with just a little bit of um, pork mixed in throughout it feels pretty light. That's actually pretty good on a hot day. You think of it as being, warm and filling and wintry, and it is, especially if you then heat up leftovers or whatever straight out of the slow cooker. But man, oh man, oh man, when it's cool, when it's chilled, and you're eating it, that is pretty good stuff as well. So I think a big old green salad and some of that this evening. Once it's a long way off. It's gonna have to do a lot of cooling before I want to eat a whole lot. And usually I try to eat pretty early, but does anybody like to eat when it's just really hot out? Not that it has been. That was the other big surprise. When I was on my break, I did go outside and it still felt warm, but looking at the thermometer, it's not the heat that they were forecasting at all. It's I mean, my thermometer said it was still below 90, and for being summery and a warm day, it didn't feel too bad. I think when I finish this level, I'm gonna run down the scaffolding and just check to see how many we've kicked off the edges. That is something that I like to try to avoid, is the despawn. Any of the blocks that kind of escape you and fall all the way down. It's some significant time. Okay. We're still pretty far up there. So, yeah, as you can see, there's a good number. I don't know how many we may have lost as a result of that, and we're still doing pretty decent here. That's while we're thinking about it. Put that away. Let's just check the recording time, and we're getting a lot. I hate that when I just switch windows to verify the recording time, that's when Windows decides that okay, if you're switching between stuff, then you totally want to have a redundant update notification message play that you've seen a zillion times before. What are you gonna do? All right. I didn't really linger to watch any. I've been, like I said, doing a bunch of reading and stuff at nights rather than watching a whole lot of TV or anything. But it was weird. In my bedroom, I have a Roku for watching TV and stuff, because I don't get local channel reception very well. So rather than having like TV in there, and I don't have it hooked up to my cable box, just running that extra thing. I don't like, if I'm not sick or something, I don't like spending a lot of time in bed. But that being said, if you wake up or you're trying to fall asleep or something like that, sometimes it's nice to have a little TV going. And usually, I think one of the better things for me personally, not being like sucked in and falling and being more wide awake, is YouTube. Either I think I've talked about it in the past. One of the best is they have like just long play videos of people's dive trips on coral reefs and stuff, scuba diving or snorkeling or whatever. And a lot of times they're looped, so there's not a lot there, but they either set them to music that's, kind of soothing with that in mind. It's kind of like the rain audio and stuff. Sleep Better, they market all that stuff. And, they'll play for hours and kind of give you that white noise background, which is great. Well, I love the underwater stuff. I just think that's so soothing and peaceful. You kind of get that scuba air tank sound. I don't know if people are just adding that in as an effect or if that's the legit, mic noise if they take like a GoPro or whatever underwater. But whatever the case, that's a great one. And way back, when I kind of been, checking had searched those, until you find a couple that, and they kind of get old, right? You don't want to see the same looped fish kind of stuff over and over. But at one point I was looking just for anything out there on dives and stuff, and I found this documentary. It was fascinating. This is a guy in South Africa who was a free diver right there at the Cape Horn, South Africa. So, cold, turbulent ocean kind of stuff. But he's a free diver, and never lived on the coast, but however he was inspired to do it, he started these daily dives, and on his way, he was kind of trying to get back into it, and in cold water like that, it's almost like meditation. You have to teach your body to adapt to the temperature of the water so that you're not trying to hyperventilate and can relax enough to retain the oxygen that you do have in your body and not just burn through it all super fast. So he had been doing that, and in the process came across this octopus, this young octopus. And I guess octopus only live for a season anyway, or whatever. I don't know. But he discovered this one, and it was, I don't know if he discovered it first, but along the way, it got injured, and he kind of had the moral dilemma: do I help it, or do I just record in situ? And I think he, ended up leaving some kind of food outside its den, but this came on the heels. There's been, over the years, relatively recently, a lot of science on how intelligent octopus are, and because they're fairly simple physiologically, I guess they can do a lot of research on their brain function or whatever. But there was some study a while back, and man, I don't know. I think it was kind of before a bunch of memes and all that kind of stuff, so it was kind of free of fake news type just trolling. But it's this deal about measuring octopus's dreams and how they, kind of had threat shapes and things like that. I don't know, probes in their optical sensors or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of like pigs and some other animals you wouldn't necessarily expect. Along the way, they've determined that octopus are very intelligent relative to, that in a lot of ways they kind of look similar to a jellyfish, but they're actually very complex. And as predators, they have to be intelligent. They have to, they're not just grazing. They have to devise a means to capture prey that's trying to elude them. Then their own defense consists largely of camouflage, right? I think a lot of people may or may not be familiar with octopi being able to adapt their body hues to the surrounding area. So, like, if they're laying on a sandy bottom, their actual body will become lighter colored, tannish brown, and so it'll blend in well with what they're laying on. If they're in a bunch of weeds or in a bunch of vegetation, they'll pick up the greens and all that. If they're laying on coral, on rocks, or whatever, their body will pick up a lot of that. So a lot of kind of the adaptive stealth type sci-fi stuff they do just as a normal function. And they're not alone. A lot of insects, a lot of fish and underwater life does that much more commonly than mammals and birds and things do. But there's, mammals do it in a different way when you think that like rabbits and foxes and things will shed their summer coats that are browns and kind of earth tones for white when the snows are going to fall, so that they will be less visible to predators, above or on the ground or whatever. Same goes for ptarmigan, is a bird that lives up high in the mountains above tree level, and they do the same thing. In the spring, they molt and get a very speckled brownish feathering coat, and when their plumage, I guess, is more accurate, and then in the winter, all their feathers switch out, they molt again, and they get a very pure white plumage. So they adapt. So I guess something in the medium of water, having to have a skin that is resistant to radiation and some of that kind of stuff, changes that immediate photoreactive sensing. But again, it's been very fascinating to learn a little bit of. I don't live by a coast or anything. I don't have a lot of hands-on experience with octopi, but they're fascinating how intelligent they seem to be, and how they're actually evaluating on a simple level, but they're evaluating their habitat and where they're at, and they're in some level making decisions on where they want to position themselves and what they want to kind of blend themselves in with, to either give them the most opportunity as hunters or the most security if there's something hunting them. So cool. And this diver guy was doing these dives, he lived on the coast, and so he's doing them out in a bay or whatever, right where he lived, and found this octopus, and they live solitary lives, probably mate, but otherwise, because of their short lifespan, they kind of do most of it on their own. And so he spent this octopus's lifespan basically filming it every day, and how the octopus adapted to his presence, and it came to accept him much more closely than you would expect, a dog or something. While he wasn't feeding it and was trying to leave it natural for the purposes of recording, it would come and, as he was diving, once it adapted to him, and they'd kind of gotten through that, old movie trope of the first contact, where it would approach and he'd have to hold very still, and then it would eventually trust him enough to reach out with a tentacle and touch his finger or whatever. But by the end, it was, he would come, and the octopus would come out from its little outcrop of rock, and would actually hold on to him as he was swimming. The two would kind of share some time each day, appreciating. But then it's so worth it. I don't know diver octopus documentary or something like that. If you search it on YouTube, you'll find it. Kind of a rant, or not really a rant, but just a ramble. But definitely, again, I apologize. It's probably been a year since I saw it, but just made me think of it, and definite recommend in terms of nature documentary type stuff. Not, some of those are a little prone. I hope we're all pretty conscious of our environment, that, our earth is something that needs to be preserved and protected to the extent we can. We got to live our lives. You can't naively romanticize what the world should be like and then expect that humans can function in that environment. But at the same time, we all have to take steps to be responsible stewards of our planet, right? That's just good stuff. I think that's gonna probably do us, man. It doesn't feel like we've done very much at all. But I know we were getting there. That would not make a very good screenshot. I don't think that would either. It's so dark. We got the one. That's going to be fun. All right, let's even quit. We saw the huge battleship named Steve. Steve is approaching. All right, so not quite a minute and 10, or an hour and 10 minutes again. As always, I want to thank you guys very sincerely for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed us creating those beacons, getting them set up. Looks like we're going to have a next episode that will be pretty mining specific when it comes to the obsidian. Even with the beacon, that takes some time. But like I said, we want that to tighten up our wither future fights a lot more. And since we have the good source of skulls, we can set that up and do that. Definitely, we're certainly going to do at least 2 more. Probably 3. Assuming we don't lose the world, right? All the best laden plans can get knocked out unexpectedly. But we're gonna eventually want to be able to have iron, gold, emerald, and diamond. And in theory, there's that other netherite one. But honestly, unless we're like on a live stream, which I don't know that I'd ever move this world into, and the audience is just clamoring for it, that we want to be the ones that get all the beacons. Oh, we're not pushing for that. That sounds just painful. I mean, we need so much netherite for the rest of our tools. We got tools that are still all diamond, and we could make a bunch more for various projects. We don't have backup axes. We only have 2 shovels, and I don't know that both of those. Maybe we did both of those. I don't know. Doesn't matter. We're rambling. You guys rock. I appreciate so much the views. Hope some of you guys are repeating back. I know I've seen a few recurring comments, so that's very welcome. I do definitely appreciate the feedback that I get out of the comments, so keep those coming. You guys really know how to keep people motivated and enjoying this. I know I'm not the only one. Whether you guys have a lot of channels or not, but I hope you find this one entertaining, and please let me know if you do. If you do, hit that sub. There's no cost, no fee for a YouTube sub, and it'll just let you know when new videos drop. Put them right on your channel so you don't have to go searching around. But I look forward to seeing you back. Until then, do take breaks. Whether it's hot out like mine, you won't. It's good to get a little sweat, right? Keeps you needing to keep clean and clears out all those pores and everything. So go out there, feel the heat, enjoy it. If it's cool where you are, I hope you enjoy that too, and I'm a little jealous. But until next time, do take care of yourselves and stay the awesome, wonderful viewers that you are. We'll see you back here for the next one because I know you'll want to be in on that obsidian grind until we decide to break it up to punch a dragon in the face, which we'll do at some point. So come on back for that excitement, and we'll see you then. Bye now.